And now he's going to step up, take off, and get right at the 40. Close to the line. They mark it on the line. That's a first down for Buffalo as Allen uses his legs on this opening drive. And Allen works to the left side. Works the punch, no foul. It'll be a gift, and it's James Cook left side. Not before he got to the secondary. Game 7 against his Baltimore defense. Put it on a touchdown run in the first half of the first game against Arizona. Third and a couple, scanning. Allen stays in there and throws incomplete. Trying to get it to Kincaid. Big running down against Dallas. Derrick Henry on the run. Lewis chasing on the 40, on the 30. Will score.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, Ravens versus Bills, Week 4 rewind. Let's talk. The Baltimore Ravens dominated the Buffalo Bills at home all the way back in Week 4. And that was basically at the end of September, beginning of October. And both teams are different, right? The Buffalo Bills have gotten healthy on defense, and they also have added Amari Cooper to their offense. And since that matchup, the Baltimore Ravens have been consistent in the run game, and they've also improved on defense. But the personnel, the philosophy, the game plan, I think will be much the same. As you think about that opening clip, what you saw is the Baltimore Ravens defensively be right place, right time, make the appropriate tackles, and be spot on when it comes to fulfilling their play duties, right? You saw a rare play by Derrick Henry making an 81-yard dash for a touchdown. Now, let me be honest. That 81-yard dash, the first carry that Derrick Henry touched the ball, is what's called a rare play. I don't think in this matchup there will be many rare plays. I think it's going to be hard-nosed. It's going to be grit and grind. And the Baltimore Ravens will have to tough out a win if we win. But I think in that game in particular, it kind of set the stage for how the Buffalo Bills would have to defend us. I think it kind of spoke to that if we don't dedicate 8-9 in the box, there is no way we can stop this run game. With a scary play like that to open up a game, it kind of puts a defense in some level of shock because that's not what you game planned for. That's not what you practiced for. That's not what you schemed for. And so when a guy like Derrick Henry shows off speed and versatility and takes 181 yards, it kind of puts a defense on their heels. And I think that the Baltimore Ravens need to come out with a very similar mentality. Will Derrick Henry run for 81 yards on one play? I don't think so. But I think that with a consistent run game this Sunday, I think we can kind of create that same shock and impose our will on the defense. Because you certainly know that the Buffalo Bills are going to come out with a mindset to stop the run. Well, where would they have got that mindset from? Well, they would have got that mindset from last week's game. See, a lot of times, the Baltimore Ravens will show up in the playoffs and do something different than they've done the entire regular season. Case in point, the AFC Championship game. We all left that game wondering why the Baltimore Ravens did not run the ball more. That's not going to be the case in this postseason. We saw that very, very clear last week, right? I think an emphasis was made last week when we ran the ball 13 times and put the ball in the end zone on one series. And who was watching that game? The Buffalo Bills. How do we know? Because we were the main show on TV last week. And you know that if the Buffalo Bills weren't playing, they were watching the Baltimore Ravens because that would be the matchup if both teams won this week. But let's flash back to Week 4 again, and let's see what happens Ravens versus Bills post that 81-yard touchdown run.
That is where his dive began, the 32, so it backs it up to a 50-yard attempt for Tyler Banks. Operation is clean and fast. Knocks it through. Patrick McCary has been the starting right tackle. He's over at left guard tonight with Adrian Voorhees. Down with an ankle injury. Mark Jackson will throw it. Zay Flowers will take off with it. As can Lewis. And a first down right around the 40-yard line. Christian Benford, starting linebackers out. Terry Johnson, their outstanding nickel, is out again tonight. Henry, good first block. Then got through a tackle and got the first down. Or Cam Lewis brings him down. Injuries to 305, Ware and Hyde no longer with the team. After a great 70-year run. Justice Hill is on the run here. DeMar Hamlin brings him down. Wow. Second and 7. Final minute of the opening quarter. Here's Hill. On the end, got a great block to spring him for the first down. Justice Hill. The quarter with second and goal. And Jackson will roll. He'll throw it to Henry. Touchdown number 2 for number 22.
The Buffalo Bills come out and they go down and get in scoring range and end up settling for a field goal. The Baltimore Ravens on the next drive come right back and run and throw effectively. And then they do what? They put the ball in the end zone. But I want you to pay close attention to the usage of Justice Hill. I think that he's going to be a big part of what we do this weekend. Not just Derrick Henry, but I think Justice Hill also will be a big part of what we do on the ground. The Buffalo Bills have been susceptible to two things. They have been susceptible to a quick, twitchy back who has some speed, like a Justice Hill, and they've also been susceptible to the screen pass, which you saw on this drive in particular. You saw Justice Hill get involved, and you saw Derrick Henry also get involved in the run and in the pass. And when you go back and look at the Buffalo Bills track record, when they won, when they've lost, when they gave up big points, the running backs have had a lot to say about that in those games in particular. Even when you think back to the 2020 game that I showed you via the last video, what you would have remembered is that the running backs, specifically in the screen game, was heavily involved. So why is it important to mention and make note of the running back and the screen game? Well, a Sean McDermott defense has consistently been susceptible to success with the back out of the backfield. When you look at the Week 4 matchup, you will see that pretty evident between Justice Hill and Derrick Henry. When you look at the 2020 video that I showed you, I remember Sean McDermott from his days in Carolina when he was the DC. Those teams with elite linebacker play was also susceptible to what? The screen pass to the back out of the backfield. And so I think that that could be a weapon that we use this Sunday to our benefit. All right. But let's look at what happens as the Baltimore Ravens are finding success through the air and on the ground. Let's look and see how the Buffalo Bills respond.
Going. And a big opening for Justice Hill. 11 first down yards. Chris the threat. 3rd and 14. Buffalo brings the pressure. They'll outlet Hill. Justice Hill got to the line. First down. Using the speed out of the backfield. Four biceps in camp. Limited to 5 games last year. 2nd and 7. Jackson lofting for Hill. Touchdown Baltimore.
At this point in the game, the Baltimore Ravens are up 14-3, and the Buffalo Bills have to be feeling some sense of desperation. You would think that they would get a stop. You would think that they would get a turnover, but that's not so. The Baltimore Ravens go right back down the field and put up another touchdown, increasing their lead 21-3. So at this point, for Baltimore Ravens fans, we're feeling pretty good. We have this game in hand, and our thought was, and should have been, we just need to keep doing what we're doing. And kind of in the back of our minds, the thought is also, don't let your foot off the gas. And they didn't. When you look at this next series of plays, what you will see is that the Baltimore Ravens are getting ready to get back in scoring range again. They get down to the 35-yard line, and this play happens.
So there's always that balancing act. You got to try to keep him around here for the entire season.
2nd and 8, the Bills break 4. Jackson scans, flips, complete to Rashad Bateman to the 35-yard line.
You got to yell at everybody. He has no voice.
Lamar Jackson this time keeping and running, and he lost the ball.
A turnover. Lamar Jackson scrambles out of the pocket and gets hit along the sideline and turns the ball over. Now, the good thing is, the Baltimore Ravens defense does not yield any points on this turnover, but this Sunday, we cannot have plays like this. We have to have ball security, ball security, ball security. We cannot put the ball on the ground, because if we do, we give this offense extra shots at the end zone, and we want to make our competition beat us because they beat us, not because we made untimely, self-inflicted errors. And so later on in the game, the Buffalo Bills do indeed, of course, as you remember, go down and score. closing the gap 21-10. So it's at this point, if I'm in all honesty, where I believe Baltimore Ravens Nation is wondering, is this the moment where the Buffalo Bills are going to make a real push? But that didn't happen neither. The defense that was not any good at this time, especially in the secondary, they really kept Josh Allen and this offense at bay. That's why the conversation around who was all missing in this game is not a conversation that I really even give much credence to. With understanding, Matt Milano was out and Taron Johnson was out and the safety was out. And I know that they will have an impact in this game. But the fact of the matter is that does not change what the Buffalo Bills offense was and was not doing. I don't want to hear that they didn't have Amari Cooper at this point in time, because they came into this game hot, 3-0, as they had started the season. We just did a good job doing what we were supposed to do defensively. And I think that if we come into this game and we are solid up front, we keep Josh Allen in the pocket just as we did in this game. And when we get near him, we contact him. We don't need to let him off the hook. We don't need to get a hand on him and he breaks away. No, we need to make contact with him, because when you make contact with a quarterback, it puts a different kind of thought in their mind. When that quarterback can just shrug you off and run free and make plays down the field, he's not really concerned. But when you're starting to hit him, knocking him to the ground and things of that nature, legally, I might add, I think that it does make a big difference in the psyche of a quarterback. Let's look at these last two scoring drives.
On a third down, 3rd and 7, Likely's on the field. Lamar Jackson goes to Hill. Open field, breaks a tackle. Spins away from another. To the 9. 4-star play. First down, play. Got it from the 9. No, make it. Lamar Jackson's going to take it to the end zone. Baltimore touchdown. Big to Henry. Lamar Jackson got Mark Andrews downfield blocking for him. Taking it into Buffalo territory to the 43. But listen about Lamar.
What happens? He goes out and wins the most valuable player award. So that's putting a statement on. I told you I was working.
And so is this guy, Derrick Henry, down the sideline to the 1. Henry Lomax, second and goal. Give it to him again on the right side. Ball comes out, falling on by Rosengarten, but he couldn't squeeze it.
Yeah, when you consider these last two scoring drives, I think the thing that we notice the most is that Justice Hill, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and maybe even a Keaton Mitchell sighting in this Sunday's game are going to be the key factors. Yes, we will need Mark Andrews to step up. We will need Isaiah Likely to step up. We will need Bateman to step up, especially if Zay Flowers is not going to play. And at this point, it does not look like he's going to be available. I think whoever steps into Zay Flowers' role, not his shoes, but just into that second receiver spot, I think all they need to be is serviceable. They don't need to have 5 catches and 75 yards or 2 touchdowns. They just need to be serviceable. They need to catch the ball if it hits their hands. They need to possess the ball and not put it on the ground. And if they can do that to the tune of 3 catches, 30 yards, I think that will be more than adequate, because I think, again, this is going to be a running back, quarterback type game where we keep the ball on the ground as we should and we run the ball. Buffalo, in all honesty, they don't want to tackle a 250-pound Derrick Henry with a lead back who is 300 pounds and Patrick Ricard. I think if we line up in that power I and just go at them as cold as it's going to be and as much pounding as it's going to be, at some point somebody's going to submit. And I think with what we have going on in our backfield, and then with the added components of the speed of Justice Hill and also Keaton Mitchell, if everybody's healthy, I think we have an ability to put up another 250 plus yards on the ground this week, complementing it with the pass, getting out of Buffalo with a win. And so that's what I think has to happen this Sunday. We go in with a focus. Don't get caught up in Lamar Jackson ain't throwing the ball. It's going to be Derrick Henry's game. What are people going to say? It doesn't matter. At this point in the season, you just want to win. Can the Baltimore Ravens take anything from the early matchup? Yes, I think they can take that. We need to come out and run the ball early and often. They can also take the fact that they need to pay attention to ball security. And I think they should also take away from this game that, hey, we should have the utmost confidence because we've already handled this team with a very similar personnel earlier this season. So listen, let me know what you guys want me to know. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.